Good morning, readers. Welcome back to Quarantine Literacy. We are in our third week, if you guys can believe it, our third week together. This week, we're going to have the theme of life is not fair. Because I am guessing that a lot of you are kind of having that feeling right now, that life sure doesn't feel very fair right now or very just. There's a lot going on in the world and in our personal lives that just feels really, really hard and really overwhelming. So we're going to read some books that highlight this universal theme of life not really being very easy or fair or just. And then we're going to talk about where we can find gratitude despite how hard things are. We're going to just talk about whether we can pinpoint one thing to be grateful for or just be aware of the things that are going well in our lives, even when there's a lot of things that are difficult. And we're all in really different places in our lives, right? Some of us live in big houses with lots of space around us, and some of us live in tiny apartments with no access to the outdoors at all. Some of us have big fridges that are full of food, and some of us are wondering where our next meal is coming from. So there's a big variety of realities in the world right now. And no matter where you fall on that spectrum, life still probably feels hard for you. But it's really important to make sure that you're noticing the ways in which things are good for you and for your circumstances, and that you're recognizing if you have any sort of privilege, that you're sort of just recognizing that and being aware of how good you might have it. And if you don't, that you just take a minute to just be like, well, this sucks. This is no fun, no good. But you can still find, I dare you to even find one thing, because I know there's got to be one thing in your world right now that still feels safe and okay. So without further ado, our theme of life is not fair. We're beginning with the book called There's a Bear in My Chair by Ross Collins. This is a good one, you guys. See this little mouse? He's not looking so happy. He's not looking so happy about that bear in his chair, is he? There's a bear on my chair. There sure is a bear on his chair, huh? This is the mouse's chair. And here's this polar bear just sitting there like, what's up, guys? Look at that. He looks pretty satisfied with himself. He is so big, it's hard to share. There isn't any room to spare. We do not make a happy pair, a mouse and a bear with just one chair. Can anyone relate to this feeling? Is anyone stuck cramped in close quarters with people who even if it's people that you love, you're just like, oh my gosh, can I get some space, please? This poor mouse is just like, this is not fair. My life is not fair right now. When I give him a nasty glare, he seems completely unaware. I don't know what he's doing there, that bear who's sitting on my chair. There's the bear just reading a newspaper while the mouse is like, get out of my chair. I must admit he has some flair. He has fine taste in leisure wear. I'm rather fond of how he does his hair. But still, I wish he was not there. Look at this. Look at his looks. He's got like an Elvis Pompadour. That's pretty funny. I'll try to tempt him with a pear to lure him from my favorite chair. Who knows what that word lure means? If there's any people who fish, I bet you know what to lure someone means. It means to use something to get an animal or a person to move. So you could dangle a carrot on a stick to try to get a bunny to hop, or dangle some food on the end of a fishing pole to try to get a fish to latch onto it. And in this case, the mouse has a pear here, and he's got a sign that says free pear, And he's hoping that by doing this, he can get the bear to jump off of his chair and follow him to get that pear. But he just goes on sitting there. Why won't he go back to his lair? Maybe I'll give him a scare. I'll jump out in my underwear. You guys, look at that silly mouse in his underwear. Well, that is just too funny. And he's like, well, maybe this will scare him away if I jump out in my underwear. But no, of course, he does not care. That stinky bear sat on my chair. Bear's just like reading texts on his phone. I understand that, bears are rare. I know they need the utmost care. I know all that. I am aware. But still, I cannot stand this bear. That's right, polar bears are endangered, you guys. That means there aren't very many of them. But this mouse is like, yeah, I know. I don't care. Get out of my chair. And the mouse is just looking despondent. He is just like, forget this. I've given up. Life isn't fair. It's too much. I can't go on. And the bear's like, well, whatever. I'll just keep sitting here. Boy, it's sure feeling like life is not super fair for this mouse right now. Would you guys agree? He's just like, he's got this bear. He's trying all these different things to get him to move and get out of his space, and nothing is working. That must feel really frustrating for that mouse. And here he's about to get super angry, which is a totally normal emotion to have when you're frustrated and overwhelmed and life feels unfair. That's it! I'm done! I do declare, this bear has led me to despair. It is not fair. It is not fair. He just keeps saying that, you guys. It is not fair. I'm going now. I don't know where. So that's it. He's given up. He's like, forget it. I'm out. I'm finding a different way because this is not working. And the bear's like, well, wait a minute. Where's that mouse? It's not so fun sitting on that chair without that mouse. Part of the appeal was the fight with the mouse, maybe. And the bear's going back to where he lives, back to his lair. Got an igloo in the snow. Uh-oh. Oh, hey! There's a mouse in my house! The tables have turned, my friend. That mouse was like, this isn't working. Me trying to get you out of my chair. You're not budging. I'm gonna go find a new place to hang out. And he did, indeed. He took over the bear's house. He's like, fine. You're not gonna get out of my chair? Go live in your house. It's an interesting, creative way for this mouse to figure out how to feel better, because he was just feeling like, gosh, life was just not fair. It's no fun. And I'm guessing a lot of you guys are feeling really cramped, like people are in your space all the time, and like life is just not fair. So I challenge you to come up with one thing that you can be grateful for. I'm thinking that this mouse right now is feeling a lot of gratitude for finding a big house to live in. What are you grateful for? Maybe it's a family member who's with you right now. Maybe it's a favorite book. Maybe it's a friend that you're keeping in touch with. Maybe it's a room that you have to yourself. Maybe it's just a favorite chair to sit in. Just try to think of one thing that you are grateful for tonight and hold on to that. Because I know, everyone knows that this is a hard time, but we are going to get through it, and we're going to hold on to the things that we love and the things that we're grateful for, even when life is just not fair. Okay, readers, I will see you tomorrow for day 2 of Life is Not Fair. Bye.